Afternoon, everybody. I can't believe it's Friday again. The week seems to fly by. I suppose on a more positive note, we are heading towards spring, and spring is always a much more uplifting time than the winter, at least I think so. Yeah, weekly roundup. So what I've been doing this week, well, it's gone a little differently, I suppose, to what I had planned, but on Monday I would spend a good portion of the day setting up the cloud accounting package for my second client who launched their business on the 6th of January. And now I'm starting to gain a bit of traction and getting clients on board and employed staff. So I was busy trying to put their package together so that we can hit the ground running essentially and capture all the data and transactions as we go rather than having to go backwards. So that took up a large part of Monday. In relation to that client, I had promised last week that I would share a little video blog, I suppose, on their services to try and spread the good word around what they're trying to do. The client's called Rose and I. You can find them on Facebook, and you can also find them on their website, which Rose and I. What is Rose and I about? It offers, it's a service that offers respite and resource to families, individuals, particularly those who live in rural areas. And one of the services that they are promoting at the minute is the elder care support service. And that effectively is providing a resource to working families or individuals who are looking after an elderly dependent and who just maybe need a bit extra help or respite from those responsibilities. So that might be just coming and sitting with the individual while you go out and do your shopping or attend an appointment or even go to the theatre or the cinema or something just to get a break. It could be accompanying that individual to hospital or doctor appointments while you have to work. It could be pure companionship, as in calling in for a cup of tea and a chat just to break up the person's day. As loneliness is one of the the highest factors in these types of situations, or it just could be a simple checkup, a security call just to make sure the person's okay. It could even be down to coming in and doing light household chores for the individual. So it really is fitted around the individual needs. So if you think that you know someone who might avail of this type of support or service, or you think yourself that maybe you're in that situation and you might like to chat to the owner, please do give Katrina Taggart a call. I'll put the number up for you along with the website and the contact details. Rose and I, it's a new business. It's based in Belfast. The owner is in the care sector, understands the needs of individuals, has personal experience through in her family of having difficulties with the health sector in and around getting support that's adequate and for their loved one, and can also help you work your way through the difficult application process and understanding how to avail of benefits, etc., around getting support and help. So do please get in touch if you think that you could maybe avail of this, and or if you know anyone, please spread the word as well. That's Rose and I. Thank you. Going back to the rest of our week then, on Tuesday, what was I doing? Oh yes, I decided I would start working on some direct marketing material. One of the things that I'd been picked up along the way was that sometimes it's good to do some direct marketing as well as networking and online digital marketing, because there's nothing better than maybe sometimes reaching out to people in different ways. So spent some time working on that. On Wednesday then, yes, I was working on a project for client number one, looking at bespoking their CRM system to try and get out of it some information that we will utilise both for the budget and to measure performance as we go along. I had a networking event on Wednesday that sadly was cancelled, so that sort of disrupted my my day as such, but I mean, I have plenty of other things to be doing, so I got on and tried to catch up on getting a lot of the work done for client 1 and client 2 and starting work on client 3's project. So yeah, that was Wednesday. On Thursday I had another event planned. Again, it was cancelled, so I spent the day actually looking at the 2 things that I was doing on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. So that brings us to today, and one of the things I was thinking about doing this afternoon or later this afternoon is to try and look at my goals and break them down into bite-sized chunks. I picked up again somewhere along the line from speaking to someone that working in quarters is quite a good way to do this. So I think this afternoon I'm going to look at taking my 5 goals and objectives for Ekstra Accounting Solutions and breaking them into a 12-week action plan, and I'll share that with you possibly next week. So that was kind of my week. The only other thing I wanted to talk about is around my client I introduced you to last week, which was Emmett, if you remember. So I'm going to do a little section now on Emmett, and this will be the beginning of Emmett's story, and it'll build over the weeks, as we said last week, to looking at Emmett's business and what advice and support he needs, and what help I can give him, and what actions we take to help him achieve his goals and objectives. So the next section is a little bit about, well, it's the beginning of Emmett's story. So here's Emmett. Emmett is around his mid-40s. He's been in business about 10 years, having been made redundant and got some money from as a redundancy package from his last role. And he decided that maybe this was the time now to turn his skills and experience into something tangible for himself. So he set up his own business. We'll call it no particular business for the minute. And 10 years on, his business is going well, and he's got about 12 staff. He's got kind of 10 direct workers who are working on his business. And then he's got 2 admin staff who sit in the background who do all the paperwork, etc. And he's got to a stage where he's now considering maybe buying his competitor's business down the road that he's heard is struggling. And he thought, well, maybe it'd be a good idea to combine the 2 things. But failing that, he wants to really grow his business and bring it up to the next level. So usually the first person that you think of when you're looking for some support and advice to do something like this is your accountant. So he's approached his accountant, and unfortunately his accountant is either not interested or not capable of helping him at this point in time. So now he's reaching out to understand what he's going to do next. He probably will need a bank loan of some sort to be able to acquire this business, or a bank loan maybe to expand, to invest in his business, to expand it so that he can then move it on to the next level. So Emmett is now looking for a management accountant effectively to help him achieve his goal. So we're going to look at the next stage of the story, which will be next week, around what Emmett does to find that person, how he prepares himself for that, and who he finds, which it'll be no guesses who it'll be. And I'll be sitting the other side of the desk from Emmett, trying to help him begin that story. So that's Emmett. Emmett will be with us every week at the end of our weekly blog. So tune in next week to see how the conversation goes with Emmett in finding the right person to help him to achieve his goal. Okay, that's it for this week. See you all next week. Bye.